What is up, everyone? It's Thomas with Real Broker here in St. Augustine, Florida, coming at you live every Wednesday at 8 p.m., going over the market stats, the news you need to know about if you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing here in Northeastern Florida. And we're also doing a Q&A. So if you're watching it live, you're watching the replay, make sure you drop the comments below. It helps me in the algorithm, but also make sure you throw a like and a subscribe if you found something valuable here, some of the content valuable at least. Or if you don't, a like or a comment helps as well. So today I'm really going to make this a short one. I've had a crazy day today. Literally had a closing, had to meet a couple contractors at different properties. Also probably showed like $5 million in property today, closed on $1 million property today. So fantastic day. I'm super excited. Showed some great condos, some great people. So I'm a little exhausted. So today, even though I say this every time, we're going to try and make it as short as possible. But if you are watching it here as a local, I love to get the locals' feedback. If you're looking at relocating from another area, let us know where you're watching from. We always like to engage in the comments with the people watching from out of state as well. So some of these news stories are going to be kind of a follow-up on what we've talked about before. Not too much has happened this past week in our area. It's kind of slowed down, which is great here in terms of the news and also tourism Augustine. So all of us can kind of catch a breath, right? Downtown St. Augustine, they waited till tourist season was over. Now they're starting construction at the intersection of Lions Bridge. So it's all a shit show. It's terrible, it really is. But they waited for a good time. Most people aren't around. So, without me babbling on, let's get on to the next news story. Well, let's get on to the first thing which we cover, which is going to be the market stats. So I'm going to just share my screen here. This is for the entire Jacksonville metro service area. So we're talking about Jacksonville, Duval County, which is Jacksonville, Clay County, Putnam County, Nassau County, and St. Johns County. This is all the homes that we have available in Northeastern Florida on our MLS. So that's roughly 6,911 homes for about 1.7 million people. So we still don't have the inventory that we want, right? We all want more inventory, and what the expectation is that rates are going to go down and then inventory is going to spike, which I don't really see that. Typically if you're selling a house, you're also buying a house. So I don't know if we'll see that. I think if we had a little bit more inventory, there'd definitely be some more options, more relief for buyers. But at this point, I feel like you're either going to refinance or, you're going to buy another house in the area. Like maybe you didn't like the house that you were at. So you're trying to change it up. Okay, where is this? Now they changed it again. This thing's changing up all the time. Unbelievable. Let's go back to the original dashboard. Let's see if that's here. Here we go. All right. So, and as usual, all MLSs for all realtors are about 10 years old. None of these things have been updated. It's pretty ridiculous. I wish we would just merge with Zillow, but I don't make the rules. I'm just hanging out here, guys. New listings for the week. We got 1,172, which is actually a pretty good pickup from what we normally see week on week and what we've been seeing. I feel like around like 800, 900. So close, we have 743 closed to 1,172 new listings. So new listings to under contract. So we have active under contract at 358. And then they changed all this too, pending at 724. So essentially we're just going to call these under contract. If they're active under contract, it says like, hey, we're still looking for other offers, but just in case this one falls through. So roughly that's about a 1-to-1 ratio of new listings to things going under contract. And then we also have the back on the markets at 255. So roughly 8 out of 11 homes are selling in our area. And 50% of our market's selling in less than 61 days. And the other 50% is sitting pretty stale, right? And that's because what happens is people, they get greedy with their houses. They think, everyone's the king of their own castle, the king or queen, right? And they think their house is worth so much more than other people's homes. And what happens is that your house ends up sitting on the market. You end up missing the market. And whenever your home is on the market longer than the average days on market, the realtor on the other side is going to be like, hey, this home's been on the market for 61 days. They either need to make a price adjustment of at least 10%, or they're going to accept an offer of at least that off, right? So, if you're looking at a $500,000 house, you're talking about like a $50,000 price adjustment. That's a hard conversation to have, but it's also like setting your expectations up front, right? So a lot of people when it comes down to their homes, they're like, no, I want to wait and see what happens. And it's like, well, the longer you wait, the more questions that goes into people's head. I saw a house today that was on the market for 400 days, right? And the price adjustment they made, it was a $2 million house. Price adjustment they made was $75,000, right? $75,000 on a $2 million house is literally nothing. Like, I mean, any agent worth their salt is going to negotiate at least that. So it's kind of laughable when you see price adjustments like that, because you're like, okay, well, that was a waste of time. At least they did something. But the thing is also, it is kind of like a mind trick, right? Because Zillow will rank your listing higher whenever you do make changes like that. So you'll see people make changes of like $5, on listings. And it's like, why are you doing that? And all it does is like, it brings it up as like price change, but it's nothing that it needs to actually be. So that the listings end up sitting either way. So if you are looking to sell your home, make sure you're talking with your agent, make sure you're listening to what they're saying and the data they're putting in front of you. And then if you do want to list at a higher price, make sure you have a plan, right? So that's what you have to do, right? Make sure you have a plan and then just follow the plan. So let's go ahead and head on to the next news story. CB, I see your question. I'm gonna hold off to the end for questions. But guys, if you have questions just like CB does, do me a favor and fire them off below. It really does help me in the algorithm out here. If you do want to buy, sell, or invest, let me know. But we're gonna get on to the next news story here. St. Johns County 2024 list of new priority transportation projects. The St. Johns County Board of County Commissioners unanimously voted and approved the 2024 list of priority projects. Main priority is going to be State Road 16, which we've already committed $5 million from FDOT. And they have several other projects, right? So includes widening and constructing additional lanes for County Road 2209, improving the intersection of International Golf Parkway and State Road 16. The US 1 intersection at Pine Island Road to Racetrack Road, and widening State Road 207. The county offers an online dashboard to see all these capital projects, which include roads. And that's also something to mention as well, is St. Johns County has a great development tracker too. So you can kind of see the major projects that have been approved or pending within St. Johns County. It's just a web application. It's really useful. I like looking at that stuff, but I'm also kind of a nerd when it comes down to this kind of stuff. And it also behooves me to know this because I talk about it on here, right? So they're looking for funding, requesting it from the state legislature. Sorry, I can't talk today. I talk so much. My jaw is tired. So those are the projects that are coming here, guys. And all those projects are definitely needed. State Road 16, we're seeing more and more development on State Road 16. All the development started up in northern St. Johns County, right? So like 210, which is something we're going to talk about here in a second. 210, we've seen all these communities build out there. You have Beacon Lake, you have Beach Walk, you have Shearwater, Rivertown, Stillwater. All of these communities are along 210, which is in the northern part of St. Johns County. And that really started to grow years and years ago when people used to commute back and forth to Jacksonville. You got the best of both worlds, being in St. Johns County and being close to Jacksonville for the jobs. So we've started to see that really start to come down, right? So the development, the land gets cheaper the further south you go in St. Johns County. So you have State Road 210 at the top. You have International Golf Parkway below that, and then you have State Road 16 below that, and then State Road 207 below that. So pretty much all the way to State Road 207. 207 is where we're seeing the least amount of development, and then as you go further north, you're seeing more and more development. So I personally expect 207 to start blowing up here. We've already seen it blow up on the east side of 95. I expect it to push out towards the west side of 95 because that area is prime for some development. It's pretty much just rural as well. So any questions about that? Let me know. We're going to hop on to the next news story. Like I said, I'm going to try and make this one a short one today, guys. I'm tired. So let's talk about County Road 210. County Road 210 in St. Johns County be widened, but developer is yet to pay the construction costs. So this is something that they agreed upon years ago. Dates back to like 2006 when a community called Twin Creeks was developed. And now, of course, they do the little ceremonial, hey, we have gold shovels and we're digging. They're not going to do any of the work, of course, but this County Road 210 is a mess when it comes down to traffic, and there's also a school, and it's kind of showing you what's going on here. They're going to widen it into 6 lanes, right? So that's a massive change from what it is right now. So you have like Beacon Lake, you have Beach Walk over there, Beachside High School, all of that area, and you can see it's already under construction. It's been under construction for a long time. Just be like 210, always work on yourself, right? Always keep working on yourself. But the developer has not come through with the money. He originally agreed to $15 million. This kind of gives you a good look at what this is, what they're trying to do. Over the last 10 years, thousands of homes have been added to the area. The Twin Creeks development, Creekside Beach Walk, and Beacon Lake was supposed to foot the bill to widen the road. Man, I really can't talk. But they haven't came to an agreement since 2006. And the county says, like, hey, we're close. We're close to making this happen. And, you know, I don't know. Maybe I just don't have any faith in government. But, like, how is this happening? How is this like, yeah, you know what? It's been, 18 years? But we're this close, guys. They're going to pay. I promise they're going to pay. I don't know. I don't see it happening. I see the county flipping the bill. We'll see. I'll of course keep up to date on this, but what do you guys think? You guys think that this guy, the developer, is going to come through and pay this? I think he should, right? There's probably going to be a lawsuit, but all right, then there's a lawsuit. The county's going to spend more money on the lawsuit, and then it's going to be another 10 years before anything happens. It's all messed up. Got to get that money up front. But we'll head on to the next news story, guys. Let me know what you think. I got 2 more for you. So if you do have any questions, fire them off below. And we'll get to the next one. Okay, so we got another, and you guys know I hate this, right? Not in my backyard, right? So it became something you saw a lot in like California, New York, where in these super wealthy neighborhoods, they wanted to put affordable housing or maybe a homeless shelter or whatever. And the people are just like, not in my backyard. I don't want it here. And that's happened here in St. Johns County. It's happening more and more. I remember I covered a development that was supposed to be off of 312. 312 on Anastasia Island. They were talking about putting affordable housing on county-owned land. And the people that live there were like, no, this is not a good idea. It's not a good idea for the traffic, right? Traffic's going to get worse. And like the stupidest answer, like really. So of course, we got another person over here who says that, hey, you know what? This is a bad idea because they want to put it in Silverleaf. The proposal is being presented to the Planning and Zoning Board on Thursday. If approved, it would build on 19 acres of untouched farmland between Wards Creek and Silverleaf neighborhoods on County Road 16A. So it's an extension of State Road 16. Neighbors living nearby, like Ernest Wilder, says it needs to go somewhere else. We are not excited about this. There are frankly better places to build affordable housing in this community. I'm not sure if they didn't quote him, but I don't know. I didn't see any suggestions there. So I'd like to hear his suggestions, though Silverleaf has a ton of land that I think they could probably add some affordable housing to. And they kind of have, it's for these are the income limits for developers for 1 person, 2 person, so on and so forth. So on and so forth. The developer says they'd also pitch in $5 million to 7 road work projects for the planned area. And let's see, this is not a good place to do this, right? And Wilder says the new complex would cause too much traffic. Come on, dude. Come on. I'll get you on the podcast. You can explain yourself, but that's not right. It's not right. Too much traffic out there. Come on. But Bill Lazar, who is the executive director of St. John's Housing Partnership, says the opposite, which makes 100% sense to me. We need this. The county's growing faster and faster. So should all the affordable housing be planned in West Augustine? Should it be planned in St. Augustine Beach? Should it be planned only in the southern part of St. Johns County? No, that makes no sense. Why would we do that? Why not put affordable housing up in the northern part of St. Johns County? Why? You know why? Because people don't want it in their backyard, right? Because that's just what they're like, hey, I bought this house and I want to keep my investment and everything. And I don't think your housing price is going to go anywhere because there's affordable housing, a complex aside. It's not even a part of your complex or your subdivision. It's just over here, right? Probably right on the corner of the interstate, right? So that stuff exhausts me, guys. I don't know. Do you have an experience with this? Have you had affordable housing built next to your house and it ruined your home value? Am I full of shit? Let me know in the comments below. I'm going to get on to the next news story, and this is something that I think is a positive. It's not enough, but it's a positive for St. Johns County. And we've talked about this before, how St. Johns County just doesn't have any work. The largest employer in St. Johns County is going to be public administration, government work. So we're talking the biggest employer is the school district here in St. Johns County. The starting salary for a teacher here in St. Johns County is $55,000. The average sale price in St. Johns County is like $660,000. So the math does not math for those people. right? So we need other jobs here in St. Johns County, but it seems like St. Johns County, city of St. Augustine, that they just don't want that, right? They want to keep St. Augustine this cute little spot, and now it's turning into a playground for the rich, right? Because most people can't afford to live in St. Johns County with, or at least, especially in St. Augustine, but in northern St. Johns County, because of the rise of the cost of living. So they're talking about adding a logistics park at World Commerce Center. It's happening. It's starting. They're not talking about it. Sorry. Totaling almost 510,000 square feet. Ideally, they're going to be renting these places out to multiple tenants. They're like, hey, we have no problem leasing a whole building to someone if they want, but we think in this area, because of the growth, because of how many people have moved here, that businesses like this, which is more than likely going to be a transportation logistics hub, is something that is extremely needed. So they said that the area is underserved, and I can definitely agree with that. I think there's like one facility, Keehee, which is off of State Road 207, I believe. But that's really it. That's all I can think about in terms of logistics hubs. So yeah, they're going to be building that. I think it's a good idea. They're going to be subdivide. They would ideally like to divide to accommodate tenants of 30,000 to 35,000 square feet and up. They feel like it's a good plan, and I do too. Especially off that, it'll be off of IGP, so International Golf Parkway, and kind of back where the Costco and the Buc-ee's are. So on the west side of International Golf Parkway, and then south of International Golf Parkway, or west side of 95, and then south of International Golf Parkway. We'll see that. So that intersection is already pretty busy. So I don't know if that's the best ad for that area without widening the roads, but I imagine that these guys will probably have to throw in some money for something like that. So we will see what happens. Of course, I will stay on top of it, but hopefully this brings more jobs to St. Johns County to get better paying jobs for the people that live here, because a lot of people that are moving here are either retired or they're remote workers, and they make way more money than what the average person here in St. Johns County does. And that's because the biggest employer in St. Johns County is the government, and then also you have the hospitality industry. Now, before 2020, working as a bartender downtown, making $60,000, $65,000 a year, fantastic. You were doing all right. You could buy a house if you wanted to. You could buy 2 houses if you wanted to. Now, you can't. It's just not happening. And if you're a teacher and you have school debt and all that kind of stuff, you have to have the perfect situation where you saved all your money perfectly, you have no debt, you have the best credit score, and you're putting a large down payment down. And for them, it's tough. It's very, very tough to do. Though, teachers are apparently like the best budgeters when it comes down to retirement. I was talking to my buddy who's a financial advisor. He's like, typically teachers become millionaires because they're just forced to budget extremely well because of how they're kind of pigeonholed into the profession that they want to do, and how much money they make. So very interesting stuff. Let's get on to the Q&A, guys. If you have any questions about what I covered, you think I'm full of shit, let me know. All right, CB, what's up? Appreciate you, CB, always being on here. What do you know about Parish Farm development? I see that it's proposed to extend Watson Road westward from US 1 south with a possible extension to I-95. Parish Farm development. I've heard of this. I don't know too much about it, but what I will do is I have a video coming up about all the developments in St. Johns County, and I will look into this. I'll write that down right now so that I make sure to do that. I want to say, if I remember correctly, that was declined years ago. I think it was years ago. It was actually, the project was declined because of traffic. But I think they're probably bringing it back for good reason. We need homes. So I will look into that, CB, and I'll hopefully get you an answer as soon as I can. Let's go to Scott. Scott, what's up? Do you think there is still an opportunity to do an Airbnb snowbird type investment property? Do you think that high prices since 2020 have made the numbers not work? Yes, 100%. I actually just showed a condo on the beach. Let me see if it's available. I'll share my screen real quick, just so I can give you a good idea. And it depends on what your goals are, right? Of course. But I still think there is opportunity with that. For you to be able to cash flow on properties, you're definitely going to have to Airbnb. If you're looking to do a long-term rental, that's just not really a possibility unless you're putting a large down payment down. And then, at that point, it's like, well, Does that make sense? Let's see here. I think this is it. Okay. Yeah. I actually showed this listing here. Let me share my screen here real quick. It doesn't make sense on cash return, right? So if you're going to put a large down payment down, it doesn't make sense, right? Financing and a good interest rate is the way to go. And then cash flowing on top of that. On a long-term rental is ideally what you want, because if you can cash flow on a long-term rental, you're cash flowing on a short-term rental. So for example, this little condo unit here, 3302 Sand Dollar Court, super cute little unit, is already in the rental program. It's projected to do, I think it was $40,000 a year. I think it was 35 or 40. Excuse me, $35 or $40,000 a year. This is right in Volano Beach. So just to give you an idea, it's literally right there. So you can still make good money. Backyard is extremely long. I mean, it's probably 40 feet deep, and for a condo to have a backyard like this, you're really not seeing that. But it's super cute. Vaulted ceilings, master bedrooms on the second floor, butcher block countertops, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and just really a nice place. And actually, I talked with a listing agent who's a killer listing agent here in town, Luke Newcomer, and just overall he runs a great team. They said that if you wanted to, you can include all the furniture if you put in a solid offer. My people didn't want to move forward with it just because they weren't a fan of the area, but they liked this unit. And they liked all the numbers that come with it. So long story short, yes, there's still opportunity, especially if you're going to snowbird and go back and forth and make a little bit of money, right? Opposed to just like, hey, I got to pay this monthly thing and come down for 3 months, 6 months out of the year. At least you can make some money, while you're up north. So Scott, hope that answered your question. It still can be done, but it's not as easy as it once was. Definitely isn't. You bought a condo in 2020, you never sell it. You'll be cash flowing on that thing for a long time. State Road 16 has been, yeah, it has. Oh my God. And Stephanie, if you've driven through State Road 16 in 95, I was trying to find I was going to make a meme about it. A funny video or whatever, a reel, I guess you'd call it, about going through there. And it's honestly, I think they need to have standards for construction. If you're going to change lanes and make all this construction, I shouldn't have to go through there and feel like I'm going to lose my axle on my truck. There's some areas where you're going through and you're bouncing all around. My hair went all crazy. And it's really ridiculous. But yeah, 16. Yep. Oh, that's what you said. 16 and 95. Yeah, it's complete shit show for a long time. It has gotten better, but 2 months ago, oh my God, the lanes were all messed up. If you were coming south and getting off 95 and getting on 16, you didn't even know which way you were going to go. Because they didn't have the cones set up right. It was a clusterfuck. Just to be honest, it was just terrible. I couldn't believe it. But Stephanie, glad you're a local here, watching locally. Glad to have you here. Glad to have your input on things, because it not only, here's the other thing, it's third-party validation, right? So people watch this, they get my opinion on this, and then everyone's like, oh, you're just agreeing it how it is. And I try to bring up stuff just like this, hey, there's good stuff. There's really good stuff about St. Johns County. Love living here. But there's also bad stuff, just like anywhere else. So I try to keep it even keel. But Stephanie, thank you for commenting. Appreciate you. And we got JJ. 5318. Very cool that they are moving the house MLK stayed in, Fort Mose and Black History Museum, role of African American history in the region. I agree, JJ. I don't know. I don't necessarily think it's cool that they're moving his house. I just wish they would have kept it there. Why move it? So anyone knows what JJ is talking about is Martin Luther King stayed in a house here, and literally someone attempted to kill him in St. Augustine, which it's weird that we find that cool, how oh, we should keep this and preserve this. But it is a part of our history, right? There's some dark stuff that has happened here in the United States and in St. Johns County. But you see the old pictures or an old bullet hole through there and everything. But they're moving his house, Fort Mose. Me and my wife were just talking about that, going to the Jazz Festival this weekend. They're going to be building up Fort Mose and doing the replica of the fort, but they also hold pretty cool events over there too. And the Jazz Festival is one of them. They have Commons actually coming, and then Kingfish is coming. I think this weekend or next weekend, I'm not sure. So yeah, and then the African American History Museum or Black History Museum, if that happens, I think, especially over here in West Augustine, I think that would bring more people a little further down West King, because West King's already starting to develop. The only issue I see is that it's like West King is going to have a parking garage there eventually. And then people are going to frequent that part of West King closer to downtown. But then you got to figure out a way to pull people further down West King. So the only thing I can think of is if they keep developing the West King area all the way down, because it goes all the way down to 4 Mile Road. Yeah, it goes all the way down to 4 Mile Road. Or no, my gosh, I can't think of it. Kent Morrison Road. That's not right either. There's two names for this road. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on it, but it's just about a mile and a half from like where the West King like commercial district is, like where all the shops and bars are at. So that's the only hindrance I see to that. But I think it would be really cool if that history museum was a little bit closer to there. No problem at all. But yeah, stoked on it. Hope it happens. We'll see what Holmes, my man. Thank you so much. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. Holmes turns into Kenton Morrison though. So I don't know why I couldn't remember that. I literally live right here. So I've had a long day, guys. So with that, CB, JJ, Stephanie Tomlinson, Scott, you guys are awesome. I appreciate your guys' input here tonight. If you guys have any questions about any more real estate, fire them off in the comments below. If you are looking to buy, sell, or invest, my team is here to help. Yes, we talked about closing on $1 million properties here, but we're also working with everyone at every level. Whole bunch of homes. We just have a couple listings. One went under contract. We got another listing around $250,000. That's active on the market. Just put a new listing on the market in St. Augustine. It's not in St. Augustine Beach. It's right outside. It's in one of the best pockets of St. Augustine, in my opinion, called Menendez Park. So if you know where the amphitheater is, it's just south of the amphitheater. 1405 Corunna Road. Fantastic little property. I may as well just show it real quick. And we're going to have a video coming out on that. Hopefully by Friday, we'll have everything back from the editor. So you guys will be able to check it out and let me know what you think on it. But the best part about this little property, it's super cute. Could be an Airbnb because it's not in St. Augustine Beach. It's literally like, here's the line and here's the house. So St. Augustine Beach is right here and it's right here. So not only do you not have the taxes of St. Augustine Beach, but you also have the ability to short-term rental, whereas St. Augustine Beach is a little more difficult. So take a quick look at this. Pop through these photos. Cute little 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Big lot. Carport. Very clean. You could just move in and do nothing if you wanted to, or you can make it your own little humble abode. I think it'd be a great Airbnb. We had the numbers done, and it says somewhere between like $30,000 to $40,000 a year. If you were to put some money into it, you can make it even more. So just to give you an idea, the amphitheater is right here. This is Anastasia State Park. The lighthouse is just beyond this photo, and the St. Augustine Beach, this is a A1A running into A1A here and 312 right here. So it literally, St. Augustine Beach is right here. Maybe I got another photo here. Yeah, so another photo right here. So you can see St. Augustine Beach, the pier right there. So you're close to everything. Like, and that's, in that little pocket, like no one even knows it's really there, which is great. So you don't have a whole bunch of through traffic. So either way, guys, I'll stop talking about that. But guys, have any questions about anything, buying, selling, investing, reach out to me directly. Our team would love to be able to help. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. I've got a busy week ahead of me. So until next week, guys, hope you have a good one.